That the SEC was arguing most vociferously was this idea that XRP, the digital asset that Ripple uses in our technology, was a security. And that was really what they cared about. And what the judge ruled is that XRP is not a security.
2 days ago, I made a video titled "The Lawsuit is Over" with Brad Garlinghouse, Donald Trump, and Ripple's chief legal officer, Stewart. And while I was speaking figuratively about the most important aspect of the lawsuit for XRP not being a security, the comments were filled with a lot of confusion, saying things like, "Nice clickbait, the lawsuit is not over yet, it will be over soon, don't jump too early," or "Why would I want to sit through 42 minutes to hear a lie in less than a minute for clickbait?" Also, people saying things like, "Don't write off the legit info and consistent content, keeping up on the charts and news." So as you guys already know, for those of you that have been watching the channel for a long period of time, the titles of these videos are to address statements that people in the community have made, questions that new investors have, and the last thing that I want to do is spread misinformation. So in this video, what we're going to focus on is what's actually happening in the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, what you need to know, an update from the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, what the judge just did in the case to seal critical documents, John Deaton calling the SEC chair Gary Gensler to release the Hinman documents, the true reason why this lawsuit was filed in the first place and what it has to do with this man right here that is the CEO of Ethereum and the biggest corruption scandal of US modern history, and why this whole case, in my opinion, is complete BS, and why the higher ups at organizations like the SEC have been lying to you this entire time. Not only that, but some of the wealthiest people in the world lying to you about their intentions with cryptocurrencies and how they're secretly investing into the crypto market through strategic partnerships so the general public won't see their true intentions. People like Warren Buffett, Jamie Dimon over at JP Morgan Chase. And if you stick all the way to the end, you're going to see not only proof of this, but also you're going to learn the truth while major financial players lead you astray. So that way you can make the most amount of money possible, you can protect your income, and have the correct information so you're not confused on what's actually going on in the crypto market. So if you're feeling bullish, comment 777. If you're feeling blessed, comment 777. And as always, if you're going to become the first millionaire in your family tree, confirm it by tapping the subscribe button. Let's run it. All right, bull runners, welcome back to the channel. So right here, prominent lawyer that was covering the Ripple versus SEC case, Jeremy Hogan, posted saying, for all intents and purposes, the Ripple versus SEC case is over. Yes, important hearings will be held in the coming months, deciding a judgment, which they've already decided on how much Ripple owes for selling XRP to institutional investors that did qualify as a sale of unregistered securities. But the most important aspect of this lawsuit is over, and that's the decision that XRP is not a security on the secondary market. So in my video 2 days ago, when I said the lawsuit is over, not only was I speaking figuratively about the whole entire lawsuit, I was stating my opinion about what the lawsuit was over in the first place. It was about XRP being a security on the secondary market, and that was my mistake. So I'll own up and say that I could have better communicated what I was talking about there. But that's why we make videos each and every single day. So there are nuanced points here to what's going on, and those of which I want to cover in this video. But look right here, the chief legal officer, Stewart, the same guy that's in this picture right here, right next to Donald Trump and the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, he said Ripple's case is over. So what I'm doing is just simply covering what the experts are saying and condensing that information for you guys so you can understand what's actually going on. So he also follows that up with, but the fair notice defense is still alive for others. And then after these posts were made, of course, the SEC goes and appeals the decision that the judge made. Now, that doesn't mean that the most important aspect of the case is still under question here. That's already wrapped, it's sealed. There's nothing that the SEC could do about XRP not being a security on the secondary market. The SEC is simply just trying to get more money. So the technicalities of the situation here is that the case is still going on because of the appeal, but the most important aspect of the case is over. And here's a new SEC versus Ripple update. The CEO explains the official status of XRP, elaborating on Judge Torres's ruling and the tactics used by the SEC in court. And the tactics we're also going to be covering in this video, talking about Ethereum and what major financial institutions are doing to shake you out of the market.
That the SEC was arguing most vociferously was this idea that XRP, the digital asset that Ripple uses in our technology, was a security. And that was really what they cared about. And what the judge ruled is that XRP is not a security. And that's really been a formative case for the industry. So we're going to continue really clamoring and trying to champion the clarity of regulation. And I'm hopeful that as we see a changing of the guard, we'll see that.
Sorry, just to clarify, though, I mean, was the ruling, though, it did make a distinction between institutional investors and retail investors, did it not?
What it said actually is that just like if you package up real estate or you package up even pork bellies, if you put those into an investment contract, the investment contract is a security.
Gotcha.
But the ruling was very clear that no matter what, XRP in and of itself is not a security.
Okay, so the reason why, in part, that President Trump is pro-crypto is because he doesn't want China to be more crypto than the U.S. Is that actually like a material risk that China would surpass the U.S. in terms of its crypto innovation?
Well, I can't speak to China specifically, but what we are seeing is whether it's the UK, Japan, Singapore, I mean, even the European Union, more than 24 countries have come together to create a framework to provide crypto regulation. They call it MiCA. And what's frustrating as a U.S. company and someone who grew up here in the Midwest, it's frustrating that we as a country can't get that rules, the framework in place. And instead, we have this interminable litigation coming from the SEC that really isn't solving the problem.
And in my opinion, that problem will never be solved until you replace those that are corrupt from the get-go. Because if you look at the higher ups in key positions of power, well, they're human beings just like everyone else. And they have the ability to accept bribes and payments from key influential business people that have deep pockets to sway their opinions to do what they want them to do. So breaking news just hit with the judge approving the sealing of key documents. Now, Ripple and the SEC going back and forth in court, they asked the judge to keep some papers secret, and the judge said yes. Now, some of the details of the case won't be public. So that makes people question. So it seems the judge is allowing Ripple to keep its NDAs and its clients' deals private. This is a good thing for Ripple. The only transparency we need is from the SEC, which is the bad actor here. Now, this is no surprise because Ripple has over 1,700 non-disclosure agreements with CEOs of major financial institutions, payment providers, even central banks across the globe, talking about how they're going to be using Ripple's technology for the new financial system. And if they were to reveal those documents to the public, XRP's price would absolutely skyrocket. So as Mike Crypto said, this is all part of the plan. And in my opinion, this lawsuit is just a show. So when I say the lawsuit's over, it's because the script of the play has already been written and you're just seeing it unfold in real time. But the outcome's already done, guys. They already knew what's going to happen when this lawsuit was filed in the first place. So if you're new to the market and you're just discovering what Ripple is or what XRP is for the first time, and you weren't here over the past 4 years, well, I was here every single day on YouTube covering the information about what's happening in this lawsuit. It will all be revealed eventually, and you guys will realize why I've virtually been screaming from the top of my lungs, making these YouTube videos nonstop to prepare you for what's coming. Now, what's coming? Well, we're going to get into that the rest of this video, so keep watching. But XRP advocate John Deaton just called the SEC chair Gary Gensler to release the Hinman documents. So there's only 9 days left. Will Gary Gensler act or will he not? I think you already know the answer to that.
What we're going to do, as everybody knows, Empower Oversight, the independent Washington watchdog, basically made a referral, Office of the Inspector General of the SEC, asking for an investigation into the potential conflicts, actual real conflicts and appearances of improprieties related to the Hinman speech and all of that, as commonly referred to as ETHgate. Well, we all know that Empower Oversight has informed us that the report has been finished and it's been issued to Gary Gensler, yet the Office of Inspector General has not released it to the public. So what we're going to do is we're going to call the the SEC, which is Gensler's number that they provide, and we're going to leave a message, and then I'm going to encourage you all to do the same, okay? And it's going to be very respectful and very civil, very professional. So I'm calling, I'll give you the number in a second.
When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, Chairman Gensler. This is Attorney John Deaton of the Deaton Law Firm, also amicus counsel for 75,000 XRP holders in the Ripple case. As you know, sir, There has been a investigative report by the Office of Inspector General related to the June 14th, 2018 Hinman speech, providing Ethereum with a regulatory free pass. There's been an investigation into the massive conflicts of interest and gross appearance of impropriety. And you have 10 days remaining. And this is a respectful request for you to release that report to the public. 75,000 XRP holders. I believe that generates enough public interest. Thank you and have a good day and good riddance to you, sir. Although I wish you the best. John Deaton.
So with him ending the voice message saying good riddance, you know Gary Gensler ain't going to do anything with that. But I think it's hilarious. Absolute savage move from Deaton. Look at this. Just going to leave this here. Mr. Zoom posted this about Ripple versus ETH with Brad Garlinghouse and Donald Trump. And then we go to the next picture right here with Ethereum's founder, Vitalik Buterin. Now, I don't like making fun of someone's physical appearance because it doesn't matter what you look like to determine what you create. But I do want to point out an interesting point here, because for a lot of people that are trusting their life savings in this man's hands right here, when you just watch how he moves and you watch body language, it's clear that he's calculated everything in his mind. This guy's clearly a genius, you know, little twitches and all that stuff. It's just one thing to notice, but let's dive a little bit deeper other than the awkwardness displayed from someone that has a project with a market cap of over $394 billion. And by the way, a quick reminder, if we go back on the Wayback Machine and we go to January 4th of 2018, when Bitcoin had a market cap of $250 billion, Ripple's XRP was number 2 behind Bitcoin at $146 billion, and Ethereum was at $92 billion. So XRP was the true leader of the altcoin market. Now, you guys obviously know that the financial markets, like the stock market, you know, the precious metal market, the real estate market, are manipulated by the elite, and it is a game of chess to determine who's ultimately going to win. And so, during a game of chess, there are key players that play dirty. So, this leads us to the biggest corruption scandal of US modern history, and further proof that disguised Ethereum investors by Joseph Lubin bribing Bill Hinman, the former head of the SEC, and other SEC governor senior officials under Jay Clayton's tenure to get insider information, unique regulatory advantages as well, and establish a monopoly for Ethereum to suppress XRP and ultimately pass XRP to claim the number 2 spot. And so, over the past 4 years, what happened to XRP? Well, it was all the way down here at like number 6 and number 7, and it was battling out between like Solana, Dogecoin, and USDC. And sure enough, guys, with the decision about XRP not being a security, now look where XRP it is. It's at number 3, right behind Ethereum. Now, Ethereum's at $394 billion. XRP's $142 billion market cap. But in my opinion, like this video if you agree, I think XRP will pass Ethereum. And the reason why is simple. With Donald Trump in office, we are going to start seeing the corruption between key financial players come to light. And you guys are going to start to see the unveiling of some of the craziest things going all the way back to, you know, the pandemic of 2020 and something that they did that was experimental that I'm not going to say in this video. Key Democratic political leaders that coerce CEOs like Mark Zuckerberg, who later comes out on the Joe Rogan podcast and explains how they asked him to hush about that situation.
The Supreme Court has this clear precedent that's like, all right, you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. There are times when if there's an emergency, your ability to speak can temporarily be curtailed in order to get an emergency under control. So I was sympathetic to that at the beginning of COVID. It seemed like, okay, you have this virus. It seems like it's killing a lot of people. I don't know, like we didn't know at the time how dangerous it was going to be. So at the beginning, it kind of seemed like, okay, we should give a little bit of deference to the government and the health authorities on how we should play this. But when it went from, 2 weeks to flatten the curve to, and like in the beginning, it was like, okay, there aren't enough masks. Masks aren't that important. To then it's like, oh no, you have to wear a mask. And, everything was shifting around. It just became very difficult to kind of follow. And this really hit the most extreme, I'd say, during the Biden administration when they were trying to roll out the vaccine program. And I'm generally pretty pro rolling out vaccine. I think on balance, the vaccines are more positive than negative. But while they're trying to push that program, they also tried to censor anyone who was basically arguing against it. And they pushed us super hard to take down things that were true, right? I mean, they basically pushed us and said, anything that says that vaccine might have side effects, you basically need to take down. And I was just like, well, we're not going to do that. Like, we're clearly not going to do that. I mean, that is kind of inarguably true.
Who is they? Who's telling you to take down things that
it was
that talk about vaccine side effects?
It was people in the Biden administration.
So if you think what I'm saying in this video is all a conspiracy theory, listen to this.
Let's talk about Ethereum. Have you spoken to the SEC recently and gotten any indication that you are next on the docket?
Nope.
Nope.
They don't tell us their intentions.
I think it's prudent for the SEC to let people know that they're watching.
If we look at Ether and the highly decentralized nature of the networks, we don't see a third-party promoter where applying the disclosure regime would make a lot of sense.
So we are big friends and fans of that organization, I think.
So very much in the United States. We had Valerie from the SEC, and so we're very familiar with many people at the SEC. Even with all the good work that our friends at the SEC
Our friends at the SEC. There's an SEC official, I think her name is Hester Pierce.
Run a hypothetical scenario while you say an SEC official gives a speech at a conference. And the official begins, of course, by stating that, quote, their views are their own and not necessarily those of the commission. Anyone who's ever heard an SEC office official speak would know that this is standard and they would not interpret the speech as legal guidance. However, let's say that the SEC official consulted SEC staff and perhaps even ethics directly to assist them in writing speech or giving guidance. Under this scenario, would the written speech still be considered personal views of the individual and not views of the commission?
Respectfully, I can't answer that right now because that hypothetical is a real scenario that's playing out in litigation.
Oh, what litigation would that be?
That would be the Ripple litigation.
Ripple XRP. So is it true that Director Hinman submitted his speech to ethics for approval?
Again, I can't comment on pending litigation.
Okay.
I think Gary's going to be fair. He's very smart. Bitcoin is going to get a free pass, and so that's great. I think Ethereum gets a free pass. That's great. What's up in question is all the other issuance, DeFi tokens, the other protocols, and we're going to wait to see how he what his body language and what his first writings on that stuff are.
So not only did Ethereum get a free pass during the 2021 bull run, but who else got a free pass to steal investors' money? Well, that was Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX. So Elon Musk posted this, which was too weird of a coincidence because you have Sam Bankman-Fried, who is the CEO of FTX. Also, Sam's an MIT graduate. Now, Gary Gensler, who is currently the head of the SEC, but no more in 9 days when he steps down, he was a former professor at MIT. And then you also had Sam Bankman-Fried's lover and business partner, Caroline Edison, who is the CEO of Alameda Research, who is the daughter of a guy by the name of Glenn Ellison. Now, Glenn Ellison is a professor of economics at MIT, and he was the former boss of Gary Gensler. So that's no coincidence. These are just facts. And the reason why I bring this up is because when I look at Vitalik, he reminds me of somebody like Sam Bankman-Fried, where people see the awkwardness. They see these videos right here where he's just twitching around people, which makes him more likable because I'm naturally an introvert, which people watch this video, you might be like, well, it doesn't seem that way, but I used to twitch a little bit growing up around people because massive rooms of people used to make me really nervous, really uncomfortable. So I could relate with someone like him. So it makes him more likable. But you have to be very careful. I've studied marketing for over 10 years, and this is what they did with Sam Bankman-Fried. Check this out.
Okay, the guy you see next to me is the most generous billionaire in the world, and I found him.
Hi, my name is Sam, and this is my story.
Sam has crazy hair. Sam is vegan. Sam sleeps 5 hours a night. Sam lives in the Bahamas with 10 roommates. Sam is 29 years old only, but Sam has $22 billion. And he wants to donate all of it to charity. But why?
Well, for many reasons.
Okay, now some major red flags here that a lot of people don't realize in marketing. I'm going to give you a game on marketing because we talk a lot about crypto in these videos, but in marketing, one thing that you want to do with the head of a company is you want to make him very likable, so people do what? They trust him. So what do? You point out the things that attract the majority of the population, like Sam's a vegan. He sleeps 5 hours a night, so he works hard for you to help you make money. He lives in the Bahamas, where everyone wants to live, when in reality, he's just evading financial regulations. He's got $22 billion, so he is loaded. And he doesn't need nice designer things like, what is this, an Apple Watch, some basic t-shirt. He's chubby like the vast majority of Americans. He's got some basic shoes. And he's a philanthropist. He wants to give it all to charity. Complete nonsense. This is all marketing. Now, someone else that is a really, really good marketer, controversial on the other side of the spectrum, because while Sam Bankman-Fried drove like a Toyota Corolla, had no exotic cars, was considered the most humble, generous billionaire, someone else like Andrew Tate, where people villainize him because he has so many exotic cars, he's very polarizing, so that draws a lot of hate as well too. But listen to this.
I have a Bugatti, I'm sitting here, I've got a diamond Patek, I've got $6 million of watches, $15 million of cars, blah, blah, blah. I give money away, I'm philanthropic, fine. When I know people with lots of money and they sit there and they want to drive an old Toyota Corolla, or they're very frugal, they talk about investing, and they save money, these people are always weirdos. Money has no value past a certain number. And if you're going to sit there and hoard it past a certain number, there's actually a degree of greed inside of you. I'm not the greedy one. Me with my Bugatti and my diamond watches and my hundreds of millions of dollars buying everything, buying penthouses in Dubai, I'm not greedy. I'll give my money away. It's the people who hoard and live these very boring, frugal lifestyles that are truly greedy. And they're truly evil. FTX is a perfect example. If this motherfucker was driving a nice fat Lambo and he had a big diamond watch and was living a life which a millionaire should live, I would have trusted him a bunch more.
Now, this also brings up an interesting point, because in this book right here titled The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles, I highly suggest reading this if you haven't yet already. This is one of the best books that I've ever read. In the book, he argues that poverty is not natural or pure and that money is not inherently related to greed. He says that everyone deserves to be rich and that the right to be rich is natural. He also talks about creation versus competition and suggests that creation is the key to attracting wealth rather than competition. He says that people should become creators, not competitors. So what has Ethereum been focused on doing? Well, aligning themselves with their friends at the SEC to suppress the competitors. And one of those competitors is Ripple's technology and XRP. So the SEC chairman, Jay Clayton, right here, December 28th of 2020, he resigned from the SEC the day after that he filed the lawsuit against Ripple. And if we look at the chart right here, on the top of the screen, we have XRP to the US dollar on the daily. On the bottom, we have Ethereum to the US dollar. You guys can see what happened the day that Hinman resigned. Well, Ethereum bottomed out at around $554, $55. XRP sold off from 43 cents and proceeded to bottom out on the 29th of December at around 16, 17 cents. And Ethereum absolutely exploded after that to over $1,300. Inevitably, the rest of that bull run went upwards of $2,000, and then at the peak, over $4,000, whereas XRP was suppressed. And then XRP at the top of the screen still rallied, but that wasn't because of exchanges like Coinbase or Crypto.com or Bittrex when they were in business, or other United States exchanges. This was overseas volume realizing the true power of XRP, and so they bought it up after that dip over in Japan, Southeast Asia, Dubai, etc., on exchanges that still had XRP listed. So riddle me this. Why would someone like Jay Clayton resign right after filing a lawsuit against Ripple? What does Vitalik Buterin know that the vast majority of investors do not know? Is he another Sam Bankman-Fried for this bull run? Is the whole weird, goofy getup and outfits that he wears part of the marketing? Is that just naturally who he is? Or a combination of the two? And what did Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple's chief legal officer Stewart discuss with Donald Trump for dinner that will inevitably lead to adoption of XRP and Ripple in the future? And will they release the Hinman documents, or will those forever be kept a secret because they could lead to the downfall of Ethereum? Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Either way, when we look at the total three, which is the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, we could see right now we're just consolidating just below the all-time high of November of 2021 for that bull run. I believe we actually did form a new all-time high, but barely, so I wouldn't consider that price discovery until we breach well above it, going upwards of 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 trillion dollars. But if we look at the last bull run and what happened around the high of January of 2018 for the altcoin market, we breached above it to about 480 billion. We came back down to back test it, and then we exploded from there to a new high of around $1 trillion. And so, in my opinion, that is what's coming next for the altcoin market when we go into price discovery. And that's going to lead to an absolute explosion for a cryptocurrency like XRP. Now, when we bring up the XRP to the US dollar price chart, we compare back to the last bull run, after XRP recovered from the lawsuit news, well, we saw this consolidation phase take place between roughly 70 cents and all the way down here at like 37 cents, very similar to what we're going through right now. And if we were to just measure how long it took from the corrective low right here in February of 2021 to where XRP finally broke out, it was roughly 40 days. And so on the top of the screen, if we measure from this corrective low right here to where we are right now, we're roughly 32 days. Now, coincidentally enough, in 9 days from right now, Gary Gensler is stepping down from the SEC. Donald Trump is getting inaugurated. So will we see an XRP pump similar to what happened last bull run? And is this just coincidental timing, or is this strategically planned as XRP is breaking above this trend line right here, this descending resistance? So in my opinion, where I believe we are in this bull run cycle compared to the past is very similar to what we saw happen either right here or back to the 22nd of March of 2021. I think we're somewhere in this range right here in the market cycle. So let's say, for example, XRP breaks upwards of $2.60, $2.67. We could potentially see a back test of this trend line before we see the major breakout for XRP. Or let's say something absolutely insane happens around Inauguration Day and maybe there's another assassination attempt. I would expect the Democrats to do something absolutely wild, some false flags, some scare events, maybe Project Bluebeam that has to do with the drones. We don't know. They always have something up their sleeve that could cause XRP to flash crash back within the symmetrical triangle back down to the ascending support. Very similar to what happened right here from the 22nd of March through the 24th of March, where XRP crashed from like 60 cents all the way down here to 46 cents, shaking out investors. And then we just worked our way back up to this resistance, broke it, held it as support, and then an explosion for XRP. So the chart, in my opinion, doesn't necessarily matter what happens in the short term because I believe that all of the cards are lining up for one of the greatest bull runs for XRP in history, more so similar to what happened back in 2017, 2018, because you're going to see the news come out about the lawsuit officially, guys, being over. So you just have to prepare for that. Now, there's a few things that you can do to make money. And again, this is not financial advice. These videos are purely for education, informational purposes only. I just provide you guys with the news. What you choose to do is up to you because you could definitely lose money in these markets. But a lot of people have asked us, what is one of the best ways to be able to gain more capital if you have a job right now, you don't have your own business, and you're limited on time, which by the looks of it, we got about 9 days until something major happens in the markets. And if that's a little shakeout back down here, well, this would be an amazing opportunity, in my opinion, to back up the truck. But if we just explode from here to the upside, then you got to decide how much you're willing to lose in these markets and never invest more than that. So we have a solution for you guys to get you funded to scale your crypto portfolio or a newer existing business, maybe a real estate venture or any other passive income opportunities you see with 0% interest and no collateral required. And when you click the link in the description below this video, you just simply put in how much funding you're looking to obtain and which best describes you if you own a business, or let's say, for example, you want to start a business. And then what is your monthly income or business revenue? You enter it in right here. You click next, and applying will not impact your credit score. And responses from the team will be in less than 24 hours. And then depending on what you qualify for based on your credit score, if you have over a 680 credit score, then the better. Now, if you don't, that's not an issue because our team can help you improve your credit score as well too, to help you acquire more funding so you can use it for the crypto market if you want, or for your own business. So if you need more capital, we got your back. Go through the link in the description below. Check that out. Also, a quick update for you guys. We got about 14 days until our upcoming event in Las Vegas, Nevada between January 26th and 28th. I'll leave a link below for you guys to check that out and get instant access to come meet us in person, hang out at the multi-million-dollar mansion that we rented out for a week. You know, we got plenty of things to do inside and outside the mansion. You can go and connect, learn, and grow with very successful business owners, crypto investors. We're going to be having a few secret activities on the 27th and 28th if you want to attend for that. We're also going to be having a learning session on the 27th to mastermind with the Altcoin Pro team, so you can gain exclusive access to live training sessions, Q&A as well too, and just come hang out, connect. So read this post right here. I know you guys are going to absolutely love it. I'll see each and every single one of you guys out there. You do need to be a member of Altcoin Pro, so you can get access to that through the link in the description below. Join Altcoin Pro University and take your crypto education journey to the next level to maximize your results while minimizing your downside, because crypto's not just for one bull market or a bear market, it's for life. Because when we see what's happening right now, oh, how the tables have turned. Berkshire Hathaway invests in RippleNet member bank. Warren Buffett is the CEO of Berkshire Hathaway, one of the wealthiest people out there. Next to Bill Gates, Elon Musk, and his conglomerate from Berkshire Hathaway poured in a $500 million investment in Brazilian digital bank Nubank. The Latin American bank is the largest financial technology bank in that region. It is a member of RippleNet and has engineered offices in Berlin, Argentina, and Mexico City. And the bank recently announced its investment, and Nubank's partnership with RippleNet was revealed nearly around the same time when Buffett made the investment. So Nubank is poised to become a super app, all financial services bundled in one app. Nubank is the largest fintech bank in Latin America. Berkshire Hathaway invested $500 million in it, which is going to be pennies to Warren Buffett, but he clearly has some insider information on what they're going to be doing that we need to pay attention to. Listen to this.
This is one of those fintech apps that I think is poised to become what they call a super app. I don't think that the average consumer, whether it's in Brazil, Colombia, or the United States, or really anywhere in the world, is looking to have an entire page on their iPhone filled with different financial apps. So all of these fintech companies are going to have to get very good at incorporating everything from insurance to lending to credit card to payments, etc. So this is one of those companies that got to jump on that concept. They've been very good at bringing in new users, 40 some odd million users. And by the way, this is not even Berkshire's first investment in Latin American fintech. I heard StoneCo mention STNE. That's another one, had a tough year. But this one's exciting. I'm very interested in learning more about it, following it closely. I'm definitely keeping it on my screen.
Now, if you guys didn't watch my video 2 days ago titled Ripple XRP versus XLM, Elon Musk's X Money, XRP and XLM partnership will shock the world. Well, it is a race right now to who can create the best everything app that includes not only just payments, but basically everything that people need with financial transactions. So Elon Musk is striving to do that. And now Nubank's striving to do that. So we're going to see a lot of these NDAs come to light with Ripple, 1,700 guys. We're not talking about 17. We're talking about nearly 2,000 non-disclosure agreements. So clearly Ripple is working with all of these companies, and they're going to use XRP for bridging the transactions between currencies. So what Ripple has and what they bring to the table is essentially the table and also the menu that all of these companies are going to eat from. So there's more than enough to go around. You know, that's why you got different computers like Alienware, you got, Apple, you got Mac, but they all run on the internet. So Ripple is providing the internet of value. And so this brings me to what Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase Bank, said about Bitcoin, that is all designed to shake you out of your positions, because when he speaks, people listen.
Blockchain is real. It's a technology. We use it. It's going to move money. It's going to move data. It's efficient. We've been talking about that for 12 years too, and it's very small. Okay, so I think we've wasted too many words in that. Cryptocurrencies, there are two types. There's a cryptocurrency which might actually do something. Think of a cryptocurrency as an embedded smart contract in it, and then we can use it, buy and sell real estate, and move data. That may have value.
The idea of tokenizing.
Tokenizing things that you do something with. And then there's one which does nothing. I call it the pet rock, the Bitcoin or something like that. And so on the Bitcoin, there's, first of all, and I'm not trying to make a joke here. There are use cases, AML, fraud, anti-money laundering, tax avoidance, sex trafficking. Those are real use cases, and you see it being used for hundreds, maybe $50 or $100 billion a year for that. That is the end use case. Everything else is people train among themselves. So
speculate.
Yeah. Now, okay. Now, my last statement, the last time I ever talk about Bitcoin, is I defend your right to do Bitcoin.
Okay.
I don't want to tell you what to do. So my personal advice is don't get involved. But I don't want to tell any one of you what to do. It's a free country.
Cryptocurrencies and digital currencies
I think are also fine. You know, JP Morgan moves $6 trillion around the world every day. We don't do it in cash. It's done digitally. If it can be done digitally with the blockchain, so be it. But it'll still be a dollar cryptocurrency.
So you have to be very careful listening to people like this because he'll tell you one thing, then he'll do another. For example, check this out.
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. People listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, I mean, so unethical.
Right.
Okay, George Soros.
George Soros, in January 24th, price was already down, calls Bitcoin a bubble, says Bitcoin is the worst, the worst investment in the world. Don't buy Bitcoin. Don't buy Bitcoin. Basically throws gasoline on the fire at this point. And then what do we find out? So he says bubble here.
It drops 44%.
Right. And then here in April, 2 months later, guess what we find out?
Yeah.
His $26 billion family office has approval to buy cryptocurrency.
Right. And we only knew about it publicly here. And this is the kind of thing that George Soros is famous for this, talking the sterling down.
Yeah.
And what did he do? He stole the pensions of all the little people.
Yeah, made $1 billion.
Yeah. Okay.
So then here now, Goldman Sachs, this, again, February 7th, most cryptocurrencies will crash to zero. Now, I remember when they said this in February, and I had, through my network, I knew that Goldman Sachs was setting up a crypto trading desk. Absolutely knew they were setting up a crypto trading desk. And
I remember you telling me that.
Right. And then, of course, they were denying it. No, we're not. No, we're not. No, we're not. Yep. Price falls down 27%, and then what do we find out? We find out here, they say BTC 0, and then we find out just before May, new trading desk. Not only that, they put $400 million to buy a cryptocurrency trading platform. Okay, so February 7th, it's all going to zero. May, we just spent $400 million just on a flyer.
And they're not the only ones.
No. So you have a lot of institutions that are coming. You had Christine Lagarde from the IMF come out. And this was, what's funny about this, Glenn, is it was all around the same time. It was almost like I can't prove collusion, but, it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck.
And you know what?
It's probably a duck.
The people, they all hang out together. They all think alike. It doesn't have to be calling each other.
Yeah.
They know this game.
Yes. So IMF, Christine Lagarde says in the first part of the year, says all central banks should band together against cryptocurrency.
Right.
Have you ever heard her say all banks should band together against illegal arms?
No.
Or illegal drugs?
No.
Or human trafficking?
No.
No. But this nascent asset class, we must all join arms against.
What this did was play into people's heads that these guys are never going to let Bitcoin survive.
Right.
And so people thought, this is over.
Selling. Yeah.
So let me show you, can we show a chart of the 5 crashes? This is from, I think...
Last year, right?
Last year,
yeah.
Okay. Do we have that chart of the 5 crashes of Bitcoin?
Right. It was 30%. Right. I think 4 of them were 30% and 1 was 40%.
And this is, here it is. Explain this chart. Those are Amazon crashes.
Okay, so these are Amazon.
Do you have Bitcoin?
Yeah, we need the Bitcoin chart.
We are
all right,
so
they'll come up later.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I want to talk about now is one of the key lessons I learned from being involved in the market so long is rather than listening to what people are saying, look at what they are doing.
Correct.
So this is what we should look at, and this is what I want people to focus on now. Billionaire hedge fund manager Stephen Cohen, who's worth between $12 to $14 billion, by far the smartest hedge fund manager in the world, I would say of the last century, is buying Bitcoin. $6,800, buying Bitcoin. Mark Lazary, Avenue Capital Group, worth about $1.7 billion, has put 1% of his net worth into Bitcoin at around this price, $7,500. Andreessen Horowitz.
Mark Andreessen.
That's right, Mark Andreessen. An early investor in Airbnb, Skype, Facebook, just launched and Coinbase just launched a $300 million fund. Wellington Capital, they have $1 trillion in assets, are starting to get involved in Bitcoin futures. Susquehanna, the 12th largest trading firm by volume, they now have their own Bitcoin custody department, their own trading department, and they're trading Bitcoin and Ethereum. Goldman Sachs, this new CEO, David Solomon, the most pro-Bitcoin / cryptocurrency guy on Wall Street. The most pro
Goldman Sachs.
Goldman Sachs. He's the new CEO. He's coming into power shortly. BlackRock, this announcement just came out, the world's biggest asset manager. Now, last year, Larry Fink says, oh, you know what cryptocurrency and Bitcoin's good for? Money laundering and drug dealers. Right? So again, if you look at what he's saying, you're going to sell your Bitcoin, right? You're going to say, oh, this is all BS. But guess what is happening now? They're going to launch an ETF. They're looking at an exchange-traded fund that will allow anybody with a brokerage firm to make it as easy as hitting a buy button to go out and buy Bitcoin. So you've got to look at this preponderance of evidence, right? All these people are already wealthy. All these people care about their reputation. If Bitcoin is such a trashy asset, why are all these people getting involved?
So that's exactly why we're backing up our truck all the way to the bank, grabbing the bags, packing them, stacking them, leaving no bags left behind, because the spending power of the dollar is just going to keep going down in value. Major financial institutions, financial players are going to say one thing, do another to shake you out of your position. And distributed ledger technology, blockchain technology, and cryptocurrencies have been going up in value. That's the facts. And together we're all running to the top. If you guys want to continue your crypto education to be able to learn, connect, and grow to become an altcoin pro, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000, and the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, this is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses, just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree. If that's a goal of yours, our goal is to help 1,000 members set their portfolio up for life this month. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.